Today's topic is global inflation forecast 2023 to 2026. We all know that inflation is one of the most important economic problem in India as well as in foreign countries. But we should take inflation in context, not in negative context. We all know that John Maynard Keynes, he replied that inflation and deflation both are dangerous. But if we have to choose between inflation and deflation, then it is better to choose inflation. Why? Because during inflation, there is increase in production, there is increase in profit, and also there is increase in price level. But increase in profit leads to more employment, more production. So economy will grow upward and go to the peak point of the trade cycle. So what is inflation? Inflation is a part of trade cycle in the economy. What is trade cycle? Trade cycle has 4 stages: reflation, inflation, disinflation, and lastly, deflation. Deflation is bad because it is the stage of depression, mass unemployment, frustration, unemployment, retrenchment, and the whole environment is under depression. That is very negative stage. And therefore, James Keynes has said that you have to choose between inflation and deflation. Both are sisters. He says that both are sisters in the economy. Under inflation, production increases. Under deflation, production decreases. Under inflation, price rises. Under deflation, price falls. But there is a limit of rise and limit of fall. We all know that if price rises, it leads to the peak point. And from peak point, it will come down due to the recessionary threat in the economy, recessionary process in the economy. This is called disinflation. Inflation turns into disinflation. So, and if inflation is not, inflation is coming to the peak level and then it comes down from peak to the downward, that is known as disinflation. And in other words, it is also known as in other term, recession. Recession and depression. These are the two bad effects of deflation. But when we talk about inflation, whether it is global inflation or it is taking into unit-wise Indian inflation or inflation in China, inflation in USA, inflation in Japan, inflation in European Union. So inflation has two important parts. First part is revival. If you are under depression economy, then you will try to revive your economy through different measures, as the state interference, government expenditure increases, many things you can say in the literature. Then depression will be converted into revival. Revival means what? Reflation. And this will be a positive shock to the economy. And this will grow slowly, and revival, reflation, revival, reflation will turn into inflation. When inflation comes, then it is termed as prosperity, a stage of prosperity in economics. So you should not be worried about inflation. Inflation is considered to be a part of the prosperity. But when inflation reaches to the peak point, it becomes dangerous. And then it is required to stop inflation and come to the normal level. Today, we are taking the case of global inflation forecast. What will be inflation in coming years? It is the IMF. This forecast is done by IMF, International Monetary Fund. International Monetary Fund suggests that inflation will decline as price pressures ease, but the path of disinflation is not without its unknown risk. This is coined by Nicoolo Conte approach. This is Nicoolo Conte approach. Inflation means rise in price level. Inflation is welcome after depression or deflation in the economy. This A, B, C, D is a one cycle. It is called as trade cycle. Trade cycle. It is called as trade cycle. X-axis year and Y-axis GNP, gross national product. और अगर यहाँ if we put GDP, then it will be called as gross domestic product. So GNP or GDP? GDP is in case of closed economy. And GNP in open economy. Open economy. So this portion will be known as a revival. Revival. And you can say recovery. Because this stage means this stage. This stage is depression. This stage is known as recession. And this stage is known as inflation or prosperity. Inflation or known as prosperity. So we are talking about this situation that this global inflation forecast is relating to the positioning of B, that whether B will be down or B will be up in this range. This is Nicoolo Conte approach has arrived at the conclusion that global inflation forecast will be gradually descending in the world economy. Inflation means rise in price level. Inflation is welcome after depression or deflation in the economy. This is trade cycle diagram. Trade cycle diagram. And we are talking about this B stage. Whether B stage will be more aggravative, going very high, that is highest level of inflation, that will be dangerous for the economy. We have seen the hyperinflation, Argentina and many other countries in time, hyperinflation, that means no value of the small money. You will get a tea paying billion rupee. How can it be possible? Then you have to print billion dollar currency notes. So that is the breakdown of the economy. What we are trying to communicate to you, that global inflation forecast 2024 to 2026 says that inflation will be the forecast is global inflation rates. Global inflation rates are gradually declining. Are gradually descending. Gradually descending But progress has been very slow. But progress has been very slow. Today, the big question, the big question is, if inflation if inflation will decline, will decline far enough far enough to trigger easing monetary policy. Monetary policy so far the Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve has held rates for 9 months. 9 months amid a stronger amid a stronger amid a stronger than than expected core inflation, which excludes which excludes volatile energy, volatile energy and food prices. Energy and food prices. Yet looking further ahead, yet looking further ahead, inflation forecast. Inflation forecasts from the International Monetary Fund, from the International Monetary Fund, we call IMF, suggest that inflation will decline inflation will decline as as price price pressures as price as price pressures ease, but the but the path of disinflation path of disinflation is not without is not without its unknown risk. Without its unknown risk. So we see these terms. Number one, inflation. Number two, disinflation. Number three, deflation. And then number four is reflation. It may be known as prosperity stage, recession, stage, depression, stage, revival stage. points. Thus, what we find out that the data presented by IMF Economic Outlook, April 2024, IMF forecast, that there is declining global inflation. This gives a positive shock to the investors, producers in the countries, particular countries, and overall countries in emerging markets and developing economies, advanced economies. And this gives the picture that in the coming years, there will not be short of high inflation hanging over the head of businessmen and the consumers. So it will be a rosy picture in coming years for those emerging markets and developing economies. They can get more money from the investors, and this will lead to global inflation rate at a very average change. And this is global inflation will not be so much be a problem in coming 2 years. IMF, International Monetary Fund, suggests that inflation will decline as price pressures ease. But the path of disinflation is not without its unknown risk. It is not without its unknown risk. What is unknown risk? That unknown risk is expectations. John Maynard Keynes is known as father of macroeconomics. Who is the father of economics? Adam Smith. Adam Smith is a father of economics. But if it is asked that who is the father of macroeconomics, then name John Maynard Keynes is known as father of macroeconomics. And it was tested in the worldwide event of Great Depression of 1929-32. We all know that John Maynard Keynes is a great economist, mathematician, and visionary. I will have a lecture on John Maynard Keynes very shortly, that how many books he has written. He has written 257 books. And he was not a man of economics. He was a man of mathematics. But Alfred Marshall knew his talent, and he helped in appointment as a lecturer there in Cambridge School of Economics. In Cambridge School of Economics, John Maynard Keynes worked as a lecturer, as a reader, but as I know that he could not be promoted to professor because of certain points of not found in his career. But you will be surprised that when there was Great Depression, we are showing the rosy picture of global inflation. But what was the condition in 1929-32? Just reverse. That was declining. That was the stage of depression, Great Depression. All the economy, the national income had 50% depreciation in the economy. In USA itself, 160 lakh Americans were retrenched from the job. They were jobless. Army of unemployed workers. They were in job, but suddenly due to the fall in demand and gradually they were kicked off. In USA, we all know that on telephone, they will hire you, and on telephone, they will fire you. Hire and fire. That was his provision. Even today, most of the interview on online, and online you get a job in USA, but you will lose in that same way. 160 crore lakh, in the 160 lakh people, American people, became unemployed in the USA during 1930s Great Depression. In Germany, 60 lakh Germans were unemployed due to this depression. In United Kingdom, in 1929-32 period depression, Great Depression in the USA and in the UK. We all know that what is UK? UK means England, Scotland, and some portion of Netherlands, which is under possession of British. So this United Kingdom had 30 lakh unemployed people. They could not find a way how to re-employ them, how to put optimism in the economy. It was John Maynard Keynes, who is father of macroeconomics. He said that in the world economy or in any economy, there is a most important factor which will dominate, that is expectation. Expectation of profit. And if expectation is a negative term, if they feel that expected profit is less than what we invest, this will lead to closure of the old industry plants and not opening of the new industries. Because businessmen are interested in profit. Profit maximization is the aim of businessmen. Keynes says that interest rate is constant. In the short run, he talked about short run, that in the short run, interest rate is constant, and then profit falls. Then they will stop producing. And private sector cannot go in the situation of this scenario of loss condition. Keynes pointed out that all businessmen are guided by principle of profitability. They are guided by expected profit. They are guided by marginal efficiency of capital, which they invest. Their return must be positive. So interest rate is constant in the short run. And what is variable? Profitability. And And that is true. That is the estimation, future forecast, that profit will be decreasing, it will become zero, loss will be there, so no investment. Keynes pointed out that if you want to save your country, don't go in the hands of capitalists. There must be a state interference which can save the economy as well as those who are unemployed. It was asked by him that how can immediately employment can be given to the people, because it is wise to say that construct roadways, construct railways, construct building, construct government building, construct gallery, construct playground, but it will take time. Nothing can be done in few months and few years. It will take long period to construct all this. But people of USA, 160 lakh unemployed. Industries are there or plants are there, but private capitalists are not willing to invest. This is very important factor, willingness. And if the willingness is tending to zero, because their expected profit is tending to zero. We all know that in the global market, rise and fall of shares. This is indicator that what will be the prospective yield of the investment. So what is the prospective yield of the investment? If a businessman thinks that it will be less than the interest rate, they will not go for risk. John Maynard Keynes says, President Roosevelt, that if you want to immediately give employment, then adopt J.M. Keynes model. J.M. Keynes, John Maynard Keynes model. I'm talking about John Maynard Keynes' book, that is The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, published in 1936. But he implemented his theory, which came in 1936. But he predicted in 1926. James Keynes, why he is known as father of macroeconomics? In 1926, James Keynes written a book, End of Laissez-faire. End of laissez-faire. What is laissez-faire? Laissez-faire means free economy. Laissez-faire means no interference by the government in economic activities of private entrepreneurs. Private capitalists, private traders cannot be interfered by government policies, government directions. They should be free. That was the situation in USA before 1930. They was free, no interference by government. Keynes said that a state interference is essential, at least during the period of depression. Because private entrepreneur will not invest, even if interest rate is zero for them, because they are not interested in interest rate. If high interest is there and high profitability is there, they will invest. This is mindset of the businessman. And therefore, Keynes said that this is high time to remove laissez-faire. Laissez-faire means free trade, free non-intervention by government. And he suggested President Roosevelt that declare emergency like that. And he suggested that if you want immediate employment in 2 days, as in our country, it is also a matter of great exercise. Here also we want employment immediately. Ken says that if you want to give employment immediately, then call all those who were unemployed, who were retrenched from the job, to join gold mines department. And there are many gold mines in USA which can be used digging holes to get gold. So he said, digging holes in gold mines. This is original book. If you write, he is written this. But this is being twisted in other books, not consulting his original book. Say that digging holes and filling them up. That was not his suggestion. His suggestion was that immediately you give employment to young people retrenched from the job or the unemployed people, and they are given job in gold mines. What will they do there? They will be digging holes in gold mines. And after 8 hours of work, all workers will be given money, dollar. What will they do? Because they were unemployed for several months. They are facing problem of food scarcity, milk, butter, bread. He will go back and use that dollar and buy those commodities. So in 1 month, all those commodities which are available in the market will gradually purchased by these workers from the gold mines. And ultimately, the stocks of commodities will exhaust with the shopkeepers. They will apply their wholesaler that send me commodity immediately be required. What will happen? That company will have a telephonic talk to their workers, come back. Employment will be given and you join. Then one batch from the gold mines, they will leave gold mine and go to their own factory where they are working. In this process, in 1 or 2 years, each one from the gold mines leave it and join to their own company, own factories, which are now open because of increase in demand. How can you increase demand in the economy and give purchasing power in the hand of people? So no one is like a dole or a beggar that give me money. So give him work. And immediate work is gold mines where they can digging holes and getting dollar after 8 hours. This led to the decrease in unemployment. All those were employed, and by 1933 to 36, this period, Keynesian revolution and accepted, and in both agriculture, industry, service sector, everywhere there is recovery, and those in return from the gold mines. So what he said, that it is better to give job in gold mines and tell them digging holes in gold mines, and you will get a daily wage of dollar, whatever the rate. So, and he has written a book in 1926, End of the Laissez-faire. It was his forecast. In 1926, James Keynes has written End of the Laissez-faire. People laughed that laissez-faire is working for the last 100 years, more 100 than a year. How can it be end? And in 1926, Keynes says end of the laissez-faire, and he's given deadline 3 years, just 1926 and 3. It is nearer to the period depression in USA, depression in Germany, depression in France, depression in UK, everywhere it has spread like anything. So now we are not the situation now. We are having global inflation, and that is declining global depression. And it is said that the expected inflation will be declining in coming years. That is a forecast. Thank you for watching this video. Like it, subscribe it. I never say so. It is not my that you like and subscribe it. What is important that you read it and you consult in your library. Library is available. James Keynes' book, The General Theory of Implementation Money. Read that book, and this will give you boost in your whatever knowledge you have. It is a great book, and therefore James Keynes is considered to be father of macroeconomics. President Roosevelt called him for this solution, and in 1940, 41, there was a conference in New Hampshire, and in USA. And in New Hampshire, there was a conference of several countries of the world, in which India also represented. And Keynes was appointed by the President Roosevelt. At that time, President Roosevelt was there. And in that conference, the GDP concept was coined by economists, and said that GDP is the most important factor. GDP is the soul of the economy. And President Roosevelt said that all 65 countries which are going to represent in IMF Bretton Woods conference in New Hampshire, all these countries should be advised to bring their document about the GDP of that country. So GDP term was coined by economists, and he was awarded Nobel Prize in 2091. Check it that who got 2091 Nobel Prize. And he was the inventor of GDP that was practically used in Bretton Woods conference. In Bretton Woods conference, there was establishment of IMF and IBRD, World Bank, which is now called World Bank. IMF and IBRD, two international institutions were established. IMF for short-term loan to the member country, and IBRD for long-term loan to the member country. So thank you for watching this. Like, subscribe, and comment if you like it. Any more thing you want to know, you ask me in comment. I will take that topic for discussion. Thank you.